Now we fast forward, New Zealand, March 2023, and I'll read you a sidebar story from Stuff today. Two radio hosts have apologised on air after saying that using the term pregnant people was buying into bullshit. Today FM hosts Leah Panapa and Miles Davies apologised last Friday on air for the comments they made around pronouns and inclusive language. The pair were discussing the term pregnant people on last Thursday's 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. show that not many people listened to, with Panapa exclaiming it was pregnant women, not people, and don't buy into this bullshit. Davis agreed with Panapa and likened the pair to suicide bombers because when it came to that, we'll sacrifice ourselves to make a point. Panapa now, though, says their comments were inexcusable, inappropriate and deeply offensive. And she apologised to the LGBTQIA plus community. Davis said the comments came from a place of ignorance rather than malice, and the pair were intending to undergo rainbow tick training. Well, the lunatics have taken over the asylum, haven't they? First up, I know Leah, I know Miles more vaguely. I suppose in some ways they're compadres, they're radio hosts. I know what that's like, they're talk hosts. And tough when you're working on an outfit that's rating like Today FM. Tough work. You've got to push some buttons, haven't you? But their buttons I would have pushed as well. And in keeping, I would say, what they said with the vast majorities of New Zealanders and anyone who understands scientific fact, or indeed anyone who's watched The Life of Brian. But why suddenly did they have to apologise? Well, I'm going to speculate here, but let me paint you a picture of the climate of fear which has been created in this country. There would have been a complaint, probably from someone outside the company, probably from someone who works for the Rainbow Tick organisation. And a Rainbow Tick is an organisation that certifies companies in New Zealand to be woke. And the companies jump through the right woke hoops and they get the Rainbow Tick. But what the companies don't realise is that what they are funding and buying into with the Rainbow Tick is a cultural imperialism, is a 1984 type, you must think like this philosophy. That means if they step outside the woke norms, their companies will be shamed and hunted. So I imagine Rainbow Tick, or people associated with Rainbow Tick, complained about these two talkback hosts and what they'd said, which was, of course, perfectly and utterly reasonable. And because the the parent company is a Rainbow Tick company, Rainbow Tick would have said you're at danger of losing your certification as a Rainbow Tick organisation if you don't do something. And I have no doubt that these two hosts were confronted with losing their jobs unless they apologised for speaking the truth and expressing freely their opinions. And then Rainbow Tick would say, oh, that's good, we've got them to back down. And now we want to re-educate them as to why science and facts cannot come into it when they discuss such issues on the radio. We are going to indoctrinate them. And once they have been re-educated, as the Chinese Communist Party re-educated people during the Great Cultural Revolution, which killed millions, run by Chairman Mao, well, then they'll be all right to come back on the radio and spew our propaganda. I've already seen comments on social media claiming from Rainbow Tick and Rainbow Tick associated people, claiming that what these two hosts said could have caused the suicide of young people who were confused about their gender identity. That is cry-bullying by proxy of the worst kind. No one statistically is harmed by these hosts speaking their truth or me saying right now, men cannot have babies. That statement of fact does not represent a risk to anyone. But, you know, I looked at the Rainbow Tick website and I wonder, and I'm going to go through some of the organisations that are signed up to Rainbow Tick. And there is, in the Rainbow Tick pitch on their website, an inherent threat that they make to all companies in New Zealand. It says people are brand enhancement. People are increasingly considering the implications of their purchasing power, and organisations' attitude to sexual orientation and gender identity are important indicators of its integrity and sincerity in embracing the whole community. An organisation, be warned, that is seen to be discriminatory or insensitive in this area can expect fast, negative, and often costly consequences. Ooh. And there we have it. Rainbow Tick is fundamentally the commercialisation of cancel culture. It is companies paying woke outsiders to bully them. To bully them in this instance into telling lies or telling people who work for them that they cannot speak their truth. I tell you what, men can't have babies, Rainbow Tick, and bring it on. The platform will not play that game. But then I guess we've got to say who does play that game. And let's just start going through some of them. AIA Insurance, Air New Zealand, AMP, Animates, the ANZ Bank, the ASB Bank, the Auckland Council plays this silly game. The Auckland District Health Board, Auckland Grammar, the school, I'm amazed. Auckland Transport, Auckland War Memorial New Zealand, Oricon, AUT, AUTSA, Becker, Bell Gully, a law firm, Blueprint for Learning, BNZ, Buddle Finley, a law firm, Chorus New Zealand Limited, Cigna Life Insurance, Clemages Group are in advertising, Coca-Cola, Contact Energy, Contagion, Countdown, Canterbury Rugby Football Union, the Crusaders, of course they would, Kensington Swan, another law firm, Downer, Ernst & Young, Estee Lauder, Eye Institute, Fertility Plus, Fletcher Building, all these companies have signed up to be bullied and culturally cowed by a vested interest group that commercialises bullying and cancel culture. Also in there, Z Energy, Vector, the University of Otago. Law firms up the wazoo have gone all rainbow ticky on us. It's a pity we don't have an organisation called Fact Tick that says we don't want your organisation to spout rubbish, and that can have consequences if you're liars. MediaWorks Holding Limited, of course, is part of this. I'm just going to see if TVNZ is in there. I'm not sure that it is. That would be a surprise. It's Radio New Zealand. I don't see on the website I've got. Do you work for a Rainbow Tick organisation, I wonder? The corporate WNKERSs, have they got the little rainbow tick on your company's logo? Are you then working for a company that will rob you of your free speech and your ability to speak the truth? I'm going to issue a challenge to anyone involved with Rainbow Tick or anyone works for a company that is Rainbow Tick associated this morning. Ring me and give me an example of a man having a baby. Give me a real-world example of a radio host or of anyone else speaking that fact and causing someone to commit suicide or hurt themselves. One example. And Martin King from Rainbow Tick, you've turned me down before in various other incarnations. Come on. Explain why you're running basically this mafia-like extortion racket on New Zealand corporates called Rainbow, and you dress it up as Rainbow Tick. Kiwi Bank, of course it's Rainbow Tick. Thank you very much indeed. I want to know, and you can be anonymous, I want you to ring in or text me, what sort of oppressive regime do you work under if your organisation is Rainbow Tick? What are some of the woke hoops you've had to jump through? And I look at these two hosts, they're going to have to undergo re-education. Isn't that chilling? Isn't that chilling? Well, I tell you what, the platform's not Rainbow Tick certified, and it never will be. We're Fact Tick certified. We're Common Sense Tick certified. We're No BS Tick certified. And we're not going to re-educate our staff to align with the madness, the unscientific madness of the woke world.